Yes.
All right, we're live, Josh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Armwrestling Showcase number 36. You all know our host, Kane Fontecchio with Alpha Empire Arm Wrestling, and myself, Josh Edwards with Nowhere to Run. Tonight, we have some familiar faces in the house, Don Mormon and Travis Provencher. We're going to be talking to them and a couple of other athletes that are going to be joining us soon about the up-and-coming matches that we have this weekend at the SoCal Armfest. We're also going to be talking about some really cool things that we're working on in the community, trying to get the featherweight class going, the different things as far as the videography with the documentary and things like that. Yeah, right away, just go ahead and turn it over to you, Kane. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great.
Good.
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, fantastic over here. Yeah, looking forward to all these things that we got going coming ahead. Josh, we've gone full circle. It was almost a year ago that we started doing these live streams for North vs. South, and here we are again for North vs. South 2.
Is that right now?
Yeah.
It has been 1 year, huh?
It was actually in so Kane was a blessing, right, for the whole thing because we had we had some things with like interviews with people that were supposed to be set up that didn't work out on other podcasts. Kane jumped in, saved the day, made sure that we could still get that promotional aspect of it, helped out, and then it was us like bumping heads at North vs. South at the after party at the house talking about it before and after the event. That we just thought we should do this show and try to bring our heads together and unify everything and keep growing because we both had very similar ideas. So yeah, it's a blessing and a pleasure to be sitting right here doing the same thing a year later and to look how far we've come.
Amen.
Yep. Yeah, and even out of all these exciting things I want to talk about that all kind of trickles down on uniting California arm wrestling and hopefully in turn more later. It can't compare, I feel like, to what North vs. South did for our state last year. It's just been a long time coming, and I think the way it was handled, the way it was put together with the community and getting them involved, giving a lot of people opportunity for super matches and to be on a stage and do that, like do a best of 5. I don't know, it just brought everybody together. And like you said, the after party, everyone getting a plenty of time to hang out afterwards and get to know each other. Yeah, there's a lot of people from up north I didn't know until that event. And I feel like since then we've kind of like anchored and are really kind of pursuing the same thing together. So it's really cool to be approaching the second North vs. South, knowing how amazing the last one was and how we can really as a community capitalize on this next one coming up. So we do have Armfest matches to talk about, which is going to be this weekend. And yeah, Don Mormon throwing his intimidating forearms out there, because it will be you and I right-handed, best of 5. And we've also got Travis in here who's got his match with Andrew Sanchez. That's going to be a very interesting match. Andrew's.
Hey, speaking of intimidation,
yeah.
Tom Nelson posted a picture today of Don Mormon and Ingen Terzi when they were on the same team. And yeah, just looking at that picture was intimidating. I was like, dude, like, gosh, I mean, just right there with all of the top dogs, and they won the world team championship together. I mean, that's pretty intimidating, Kane.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's going to be an experience, that's for sure.
I still have that trophy.
What's that?
I still have that team trophy. It's a big, tall one.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to our match. It's going to be really, really cool, really fun. The left hand was awesome. So I'm hoping that the right hand is as good of a match, and just as fun. Now you got to rip the other peg, the other off.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Darn it. How did this happen anyway?
Derek.
Yeah, it's
We
all
Yeah.
had
Derek's fault.
We
we
and
had
Josh
Derek
were
pop on
we and
here.
Josh were me and Josh were joking about it. It was like he was almost like a arm wrestling match auctioneer at the for the moment, you know. And oh yeah, Kane, and then we got Kane and Don. Okay, Kane and Don. Oh, we got Josh, and we got guys, we got
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
just started setting up matches out of nowhere. But
Yeah,
I really like Tommy and Manny's match. I like your match, Travis and Andrew.
they're good
Um,
ones.
those are going to be good. And of
Look at
course,
Will's.
yeah, that's going to be really good. That's going to
Yeah,
answer a lot of questions on our team because, in the last couple tournaments, um, Mike Linder, he's on at least on the right, he's been taking home gold for our team. And but those particular competitions Will also wasn't competing in. So there's a lot we
right.
don't know. And I do know that well, to me, Will always feels as strong in practice as he does in a match. He's maybe a little more serious in the match, but he's just so laid back. But Mike is very different between practice polling and competition. His competitive move is very good. Looks like we got Manny dropping in here.
Yeah, that's obviously I'm biased to you and Don, right? So I'm excited about that match, of course. But besides that, I mean, Will and Mike has to be on paper the most exciting. I mean, that's just wow. I mean, two guys that are completely hand dominant and maybe don't really use much of anything else. I mean, well, I mean, I guess you can't say that with Will, but so far
I
I've only
really
seen
think
Mike,
that
have his ace move.
I
But
really think they're
it's gonna
gonna lock
be
up.
if they lock up, uh, I think it's gonna be a long day, man. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be a
know.
long day. I think this one has to be over quick, or else Will's different. Will's different, man. Will is different. Mike's special too. You can tell he's special, and I won't take anything from that dude. I mean, he's amazing. Um, but yeah, just Will has a hand, man, that it just feels different. It just
I've
feels
never
different.
pulled Will, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. So
I'd like to see you pull
you can
Will.
only go from my ass, and I'm weak, so they all feel crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think between their styles, I think and leverage and everything, I think Will has the advantage in this match. But you really just can't count out Mike. Um, he is very strong. If he gets where he needs to be before Will, I think there's a possibility there. But just based on certain factors, I think Will definitely, aside from on paper and everything like that and history in the sport. But yeah, looking forward to that one. We just got Manny hopped in. What's up, Manny? You're muted right now, but
Oh, what's
there
up?
you are.
You hear
So
me?
yeah, man. Are you at work right now or what?
Yeah, I'm here at work right now. The Home Depot.
You're on your break?
Yes, my break.
Nice. Okay. Well, thanks for dropping in. Manny, you got a match at Armfest this weekend. And by the way, anybody watching this in California, go to Armfest. It's our big combined team practice in Anaheim at Bruheim. We got people from
Right.
coming down. We got people from the south coming down. It's your
They
chance to
stream it live.
yeah, it's your chance to not just practice with your team in the same old hands. You can grip up with all kinds of people, and it's really fun, and it's at a good spot. So, Manny, your match is with Tommy Heron. Have
Yeah,
you did you pull Tommy at the UAL?
I put him at the both UALs and also at the it was this tournament in Los Angeles. I forgot the name of it.
Oh, so
And
you
where
pulled him
the
a bit already.
I put him like 3 times.
Okay, and how's that gone between all three times?
The first time he beat me, and then the second time I found out a way to beat him. but I've only beat him in the strap. So
You got him in the strap. Okay. Interesting.
then
All
is
right.
to maybe go to the strap a lot.
So he's got to win on you. You've got to win on him. But you said you pulled 3 times.
Oh yeah, and then I won the second time again.
Did you beat him? So you've got 2 wins and he's got 1 win?
Yes,
Okay.
in the tournaments.
So he's coming for blood. He wants to even the score there, I'm sure. But you were looking really, really good at the state championship recently. Very surprising. And the most entertaining thing for me watching you guys' lightweight class, not only was there like 25 of you, but
Yeah.
a good portion of you were like under 145 pounds. And you don't get that opportunity often to have matches with guys your own weight, and that many of them too. So yeah, I actually want to take this opportunity to touch on one of our topics. We already brought up North versus South 2, which is coming up very soon. It's typically like a summertime-ish thing. At least it was last year. But still working out a date on that. But one thing that Josh and I have talked about and are really excited about because of the turnout that we had at UAL, the state championship of lightweight pullers that are under 145 pounds. We figured there was enough. We took a tally. There's 12 of you right now. We could count more if we counted some of the ranked 165s, because a few of those guys are actually like easily 150s. Could maybe come down to 145. But since they're ranked there, they all decided to stay there. But outside of that, there was still 12 people that were competitive and decent arm wrestlers. Some a little bit new, some have been around, like your Santino Bravo. And yeah, we decided we want to run like a 12-man round robin, a small little double elimination tournament. Josh said he's gonna do it, and basically we're going to establish the California top 10 ranking for 145-pound or less arm wrestlers. And I'm really, really excited about it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kane,
Yes, go ahead.
Kane, I just want to be clear real quick. Is it 145 or 154?
So the thing that I've been discussing has been 145, but I know there's been a couple, like when we talked with the committee and stuff like that. I think 150 was thrown out there maybe in terms of King of Cali. The issue for me is that if our ranking system is mostly running in a 20-pound ratio, right? We got 165, we got 185, and then we got 205 and so on and so forth. It makes sense to me that we should jump down to 145 or less. But what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, because it is a lower weight class, like, and there's a lot of people in that area, but the guys who are 160 or whatever like that and could easily make a 154 are going to have a lot more trouble making a 145, which, hey, whatever. But yeah, I'm totally down for whatever. I just know that I've heard a lot more 154 with the national class and stuff like that, and that's kind of always what I compare stuff to, is like the 54, 76,
Right.
stuff like that, because everywhere outside of California, that's what they do.
Yeah.
But and I know that Bill used to run a 54. I don't know that he ever ran a 45. Saying that to say this, we kind of want it to catch traction with everybody in the state. Do we think that we'll catch traction if it's a 20-pound lower class and it's not that 54 with the 11-pound difference?
Everything used to be
Right.
54 to the 76 before.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A lot of other states
So
are
it's still a 20
but the
pound,
ones,
it's still a 20-pound thing. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
then. So yeah,
exactly.
145. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard, but we could split the difference and do 150. The hardest decision is, yeah, we either convert to what the majority of the states are doing, which is, yeah, 54, then they jump to 75 or 76.
Or was it 55?
Well,
Right.
the only reason being is this just uh, um, my opinion about a small thing of it is if you get a guy used to pulling at a certain weight and then he tries to leave the state to do a bigger event, now it's a whole different weight class that he's not even used to, or one that's not available now, right? Um, with that 54-76 thing. Now I know that obviously we have our different weight classes in here, but yeah, I mean with the 45s, I mean we have a ton of those. We have Danny Dollar, Santino. We have I believe you said the Manny. You're around that weight, aren't you? Under 145.
Yes.
You're like
Yeah, I
130
mean
something,
so
right?
and yeah, and then Tommy and so on and so forth. The list goes on. Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely have 10 of them. So I'm down for whatever. I just wanted to be clear on it because I don't. I've never heard 145
Okay.
unless it's like the Worlds. I've heard because it goes every 10 pounds at the Worlds.
Well, it's
It goes like
interesting.
26, 37.
Yeah, it's interesting. I definitely like that the challenging ourselves to create a featherweight class is also kind of like knocking on that other door a little bit as well. Santino Bravo in the chat, he says, I think our weight classes should be aligned with the rest of the country, so 154, 176, etc.
Yes.
And I agree with both of you guys. If I could have it my own way, I think that's what I would do, partly to unify, but I feel like for a lot of us 165 people, I don't know. I just feel like the 175 down to 154 is a lot more of a cozy space for a
I
lot.
don't mean to interrupt you, Kane, but
I can pull with Dawn. I can pull with Caleb or Christian or whatever, and we're all just kind of in that spot. But it's quite a jump to go to the 185s from 165. But that's just me. We'd have to talk about it, but um,
I look for 76 weight classes myself too.
right. Travis, what's up?
Oh no, Manny's leaving.
Oh,
yeah,
you got to take off back to work? Okay.
yes.
Hey, man, thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you more about this, okay?
That sounds
Man,
good.
just hide around the corner.
Later, brother.
Bye.
Use your bathroom break.
So, but completely on the side though, it is hard because, like, for example, I'll go through this list. If we did do a 154, 0 to 154, it would definitely probably add more names and a completely different consideration for the list. But if we were going at 145, the list that I have right now is Santino Bravo, Danny Dowler, Brandon Rain. We got Manny, who was just in. We got Brian Butcher also for my team. We've got Brandon Brownfield, who is up north. Also, Aiden and Nolan Craig, who are both up north. Ethan from my team, Tommy Heron, Derek Trunk from my team, and I was just messaged from Fabian Chavez, who did really well in the 185s. I think it's his brother, Ricky, maybe Chavez, is right there at that weight as well, 145, and he thinks would do really, really well if given the opportunity. So that makes 12 of them. And I can definitely say, just looking at this list, that a good portion
So
of
are we
these
leaving alone the guys like your Christians and your Chewies and stuff that are, even though they are under 150, they're highly ranked in the 165? Are we just leaving them alone?
that's the question.
Because those guys right there
So,
could be like 1 and 2. I mean, well, not, but let's just say, I mean, you got Santino, Danny, Chewy, Brandon Rain, them guys all in that little echelon with Christian Zepeda. I mean, they could all be battling out for the top spot instead of a 6, 7, or 8 spot.
right, right. Yeah, it's
Because
very
some guys just are at a natural smaller weight.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the names like the growing kids like Aiden and Nolan, their weight could probably fluctuate. It might be hard for them to stay to 145, but pretty much for the rest of these guys, they're like sub 137, You know, they're like
Right.
114 pounds to yeah, like the 130s. And so if there's enough of them, you kind of want to give them their own stage and platform to battle on, right? And be ranked within. But yeah, definitely. And I don't think Christian and guys like him or Caleb would be too concerned about pulling in that class.
Wasn't
But
it 0 to 135? Uh, back in the day, 0 to 135.
yeah, you would just maybe less events and a lot
Because
more
I'm
pull.
pretty sure there were two below 76.
But yeah, if we did, if it was a 154 versus the 145, like for sure, Christian would definitely be in that in a second. I think he would convert over from the 165s to the 154s.
Yeah, I
Um,
think
and guys like him would, and that would change things up uh quite a bit. So I think the next I would love to hear more people's thoughts in the chats. What do you think? And comment, you know, if you watch the video later. For California arm wrestling ranking and tournaments, do you want to see a 145 or less? And then the regular trend that we have of weight classes, it would jump to 165, 185, 205, and so on. Or do you think that we should be running things more the way the rest of the country does, like a 154, and then we jump to 176, and, you know, 20 pounds up from there as well. I think it's the 198 that they do from there. But yeah, let us know. Let us know in the chat what your thoughts are, because that would be a big decision that the committee has to go over and, you know, talk to the community about. So, but either way, like, you know, the state championship was more than enough proof, both in the pro and the amateur lightweight classes, that there's a bunch of people that could be competing for a featherweight class and to create a ranking off of. So that's what the whole point of this is. Josh, we're thinking you'd be able to do it like as an opener, right? Something like that at North First South too.
Yeah, I would think that that would be a really cool way to start it off. You know, I was kind of wanting to do. I mean, once the ideas start rolling, I mean, that's how it happened last year. Like, that's why we had 53 super matches at the end of the day, because I can't stop and I don't want to say no, right? But I thought it would be really cool to have the featherweight round robin as an opener, and then we have like four masters guys, and then we have like a little four-way round robin with them, and then
Okay.
go into the regular super matches. So you have like two little fun round robins, boom, and then you start the super matches. Because like I said, when we were talking about the numbers the other day, we did 53 super matches. We started at noon, and the last super match ran at 5:17.
Mm,
So it
yeah,
only took
it's crazy.
under 5.5 hours. So
Yeah.
um, it can be done, and we know that we have like a number to play with. So we could play. You know, if we did 40 matches, we know that it would be much less than last time, and we could fit it in with these round robins and make it work. You know, and then you have the California Cup right after that, which is like the 20 super matches for the North versus South Championship or whatever it is, right?
Awesome. Yes, yes, it's going to be great. So yeah, let us know, you guys in the chat, what kind of weight classes would you prefer to compete in? What would you prefer to see in California? We've had our own thing going here in terms of weight classes, and I think it's mostly been based off of what the UAL has been doing. So I don't know. This is kind of shaking the tree a lot, because I mean that now we're talking to Collins and stuff like that. You know, if we're to create our own ranking system that's different than what the California State Championship is running, you know, it's some sticky business, but definitely worth the conversation. So okay, yeah, about killing says definitely a great idea. We've also got Todd Calazo in the chat, or Clazo. What's up, Todd? We got Eric Gonzalez. What's up? Paul Stevens is in the house. What's up? He says he'll be there. I'm guessing North versus South are going to be at Armfest too, Paul. We got Grace Bear in the house. SoCal Armfest is gonna be lit, she says.
Yeah.
It is gonna be good. Every time the NorCal boys come down, it's a party. We have a good time. Yeah, yeah. And I understand you're gonna be doing a little fishing, Dawn, before Armfest. I hear everything.
Maybe I guess no, it's a podcast or something. Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right,
yeah.
cool. And
It's
we got, yeah, Santino Bravo, he was talking about the classes. About Killing says, "What's up, Travis? What's good, Travis?" And yeah,
who is
so
it?
I don't know. You don't know who that is? About Killings. Who are you?
Your biggest fan.
Is that
Yeah.
Outlier.
Okay. And Santino Bravo says the weight classes and many other things are what I have been wanting to discuss with the league and committee. Very cool. Very cool. Well, we definitely would want to hear your thoughts and talk about all that. Clearly, you're more partial to the other style of doing things the way other states are, as am I, but it's a big sticky thing to confront. But in terms of the round robin and creating a featherweight class, I don't know, I think we could do that one way or another. There's too many of every week. It seems like I don't know. There's so many lightweights that are coming in new for some reason. There's bigger guys too, but I'm just talking about our team. Like we keep getting these lightweight guys coming in. It's pretty cool. Paul Stevens says, I like the Aries classes. I'm cutting down to the 220-pound class. And yeah, I mean Aries, I think runs both. But yeah, if you do follow the Aries rankings, yeah, it seems like the majority of the matches, the majority of the pullers are doing the 176 thing. Um, and I don't know if that actually is their standard on Aries weight class, but yeah, Corey has made it like a 165 and a 185. I think you just mostly, I think, see Californians.
I'm
Uh,
like four weight classes in that thing, all the way up to 242.
really?
Yeah, yeah. Me
That's
too.
because that's because I'm getting thrown in with other smaller weight class. They can't move big guys down when there's not that many in a weight class, so they move everybody up.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so they end up raising your weight class. So anyway, yeah, it's like, man, I don't even want to be ranked at 242. I don't even belong there. I'm
Yeah.
176. All my trophies up there say 170. Actually, I looked up there to see if it was 55 or 54. They say 155 to 176 is what it used to be.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like Aries. I'm all about Aries. And I think it's definitely heading the right direction. And About Killing says, "Hey guys, it's Alex. It's just my old YouTube account." So About Killings is Alex. What's up, Alex? We got Art Truval is in the house saying hi to Ed
Traval,
Truval. Okay.
he's the one that he has a YouTube channel also. A lot of nice videos.
So
Yeah.
what I haven't seen any. Can you plug your channel in the chat, Art? That'd be awesome. Maybe I have. Um,
Yeah, you've probably seen a couple like the tournament that Don and I ref together. He did footage of that, and he does like um, not streaming footage or like the whole tournament, but individual matches, like edited, really
oh,
cool, footage.
right.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, definitely plug that in the chat there. Well, I mean, yeah, just check out Arm Truval, I guess. Arm Truval channel. We've got my teammate Javier Martinez in the house. What's up, Javier? Good to see you. It was good to see you at practice on Sunday. Javier is like hyper focused. He's one of our better super heavyweights on the team. And just yeah, Javier, like I really appreciate how fired up you are for Alpha Empire and your training, seeing all your training videos. We post training videos on our private team page to kind of like motivate each other. And Javier is very consistent with that. He's been following a lot of Derek's programming and you know, getting some really good results from it. About
Nice.
yeah, about killing says it's a great idea because you want to start at the lower weight classes so you can hone in on your technique. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we want to see more just people in general get involved in the sport, especially lightweights. And when you start talking about like featherweights, now, you know, we also have something that the youngsters can cross into that are sitting at that weight and wanting to progress. But yeah, I mean, can you, I mean, I think about it with my wife too. It's the same thing in the women's class. So there's only two weight classes. You got 154 and below and 155 and above. And then you got Malia, who's, you know, like somewhere's around 100 pounds. And you, she's always going against 154s. It's the same thing with you lightweight people. The featherweight, it's got to be rough. You know, if you wanted to jump, especially if you wanted to try your first pro competition, if you wanted to compete at open, and know that you're going against people that cut down to 165 and you're like, you walk around at 130. I mean, that's rough business. It's super rough business.
Right.
So yeah, that I mean, facilitating something for them, I think definitely kicks open the door to get more of them. So that
Well,
should,
in worlds, if they're changing every 10 pounds and you're giving up, 15 in your tournament, that makes a difference when it comes to
yeah,
the sport for sure. Because even me walking around at 76, I would rather do a 76. If there were two tournaments and one was 85 and one was 76, I would do the 76
right.
just
Yeah,
because I'm
you'd be
more
on the top of
comfortable
the
to.
class. Yeah,
Right,
you'd be on top of the weight class versus the middle,
right.
uh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even like we just had that tournament, like even for me, right? Like I always sit at like 170 to 173. It's hard to gain a lot of weight. And the weight that I do gain, it's mainly water weight that I put on. I can't put on
Right.
like, I don't take like protein like that. Like I have a super strict diet. And so it's like, if I compete at 185, for me to cut to 165, that feels like a big cut for me. Even from 172, like that feels like a big cut that I'm losing a lot of the stuff that I need in my body, right? But when it comes to, the 185 class, I'm just like, I'm going against these guys that are probably cutting from 195 or 190, and I'm consistently sitting at 170. So it's like, all right. I mean, I'll go against the 185s because I really don't want to cut to 165. So, I mean, it's that's why I like the 172 or the 176 tournament because I'm like, okay, I know I'm going against guys that are like more in my range. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I like to go against the big guys though. That's why I took on the match that I'm taking on this weekend because I'm like, it makes me feel good if I beat a bigger guy that's got a lot more muscle mass, right? So if I lose, whatever, like it is what it is. But like if I win, like it feels like David beat Goliath type of thing to me. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. God, the weight that he can lift is pretty incredible. But you guys are strong. I don't know, you're close, I feel like, when it comes to getting in on the arm. But I think he has the advantage there, especially, in the chest or a press or something like that. But you're definitely more of a wrist guy, hand and wrist, I feel like. Uh,
Stay away from his hook, and you got him. Just stay away from his hook. Your hand is strong, bro.
that's
yeah,
what everybody tells me. They're like, just stay if you stay away from the inside, like you have a really good shot. Like
right.
because I've already told him I was like if I go with you inside like I don't know how you feel inside but if you try to press me obviously you could bench like 500 fucking pounds I know it's a kid, all right. But it's like the dude could bench like 500 pounds. So it's, to get away from that press is kind of like, you know, to try to go against that, that's kind of not really like competitive. Like the press is just going to smash through me on the inside. But hook for a hook, I might be able to stay in there a little bit with him. But do I want to attempt it? You know, do I want to attempt it? I kind of have my game plan in my head. And if I stick to that game plan, I feel confident. But like, you know, we'll see what happens. He's a big, strong guy. He faced Brandon, and me and Brandon, you know, I beat Brandon, but I've never super matched Brandon either, so I don't know. And there's a few guys that he matched up with that I've beaten as well. So I mean, I feel like the guys he beats, I beat as well. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm confident in my wrist, so we'll see what happens.
Remember Adam and him at your house. Remember that.
The what?
Remember Adam and him when they pulled at your house. Remember, Adam top rolled him.
Oh.
And Adam's on top roll.
No. That at the Friendsgiving. Remember they had their little super match outside?
Yeah, I know Adam can't top roll me, so Adam can only beat me in the hook.
I like Kane's laugh.
I'm sorry, because like, I mean, you're my buddy, Travis, but you know, I'm probably gonna end up having to coach and be in Andrew's corner. You know, he's the regular Alpha Empire, but
No,
I do wish you luck because I want this to be a good match. But it is gonna.
Kane?
That's totally fine with me. I'm good with it because I'll have my coaches in my corner too, and you know we'll kind of see. Well, it's gonna be a clash, I believe. You know, so we'll see who can execute the coach's game plans better, I guess.
I hope Kane's in my corner on this one.
No, very, very far from it.
How do you?
Listen to him. Far from it, he said. I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends.
Don, how do you and Caleb face? How do you and Caleb match up?
We never matched up.
You guys have never seen each other in a tournament or anything like that?
No, but he still ended up on top, even if I didn't pull against him. He beat guys that beat me. So
I know you guys have like practice poll and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
how does that end up?
Caleb lets me look good.
I just asked because you know, I like to compare matchups, like obviously Kane against Caleb and then you against Caleb. So if I can get a kind of a read, I could kind of dictate who's going to have a favorable day.
Yeah, Caleb's tough. Caleb's tough. I mean, I think almost any given day, on even guys that might give him trouble, he might give them trouble, you know. Any given day, we all have good and bad days, and if Caleb's having a good day, look out, he'll hurt you.
Yeah.
And Caleb's he's a competitor. He's a really good competitor.
His hits come hard sometimes from nowhere too, and when it catches you at a good time or a bad time, I should say, it'll go through you.
Yep. For your match with Andrew, Travis, Alex says top roll him and it ends 3-0. So in this hook versus top roll, he thinks top roll wins. But fortunately, we've got Andrew popping in right now. He can tell us what
Dun dun dun.
You're like, oh my God, is this my new seat? Sorry.
What's up, Lorenzo and Will? How's it going?
Hey, Lorenzo, give everybody that smile. There it is.
I didn't see it. Oh. I rushed home. I was able to
at least wash my face real quick from the drive home because, you know, I'm just whatever. But then I get a phone call, wheels outside. I'm hurting, trying to use the restroom real quick. And then we jumped on the call and we're here, man. So thank you for having us.
Nice. You guys getting a little training in tonight?
Yes,
Little.
All right. All
Just
right.
moving around.
My arms hurt.
Cool. Keeping things worked out a little bit. Yeah. So I just had my first sports massage last night. It was really good. Yeah, I'm gonna be like doing that now. It was
Sounds
really
nice.
Yeah, man. And I told her like so this is the way I put it to her when I first went in the office. I was like she's like, what kind of massage you looking for? I said I need the sports massage that is going to help me beat Don Mormon
Oh,
Yeah, specifically.
weekend. And then so she immediately said, yeah, that's going to be triple the cost if you're trying to beat Don Mormon. So it was an expensive trip. But
You just, all you have to do is just remind her that he's from NorCal, and then you get all the discounts, bro.
yeah. No, she knew all his matches, and like we dissected everything, and she broke everything up just the right way, got things mobile. She's like, you're gonna need this on the right for Don, and it's pretty much how it went down.
Hey,
It
real
sounds
quick,
like a
man. Real quick,
conspiracy.
I just want to say what's up to Robert Terry. I know he's watching and stuff, and I just want to say what's up to you, buddy, and rock on.
Hey, what's up, Robert?
Mr. Terry.
Yeah, I didn't see you in the chat, but yeah, glad you're watching. Hope you and Tara and your family are all doing well. What's up,
Yeah.
Andrew? What's happening?
I just woke up from a nap.
The past 2 days it worked.
Sounds nice.
Water, dude.
You take naps, huh?
No, actually, it's just I didn't really sleep this morning. So then driving down the hill, I get all comfortable like a baby just driving and I start zoning out. So I
Yeah.
pulled over and I took a nap before the gym because I was dying.
Hi, Andrew.
Oh, hi. Look at those handsome guys over there.
Thanks, dude.
Freaking glasses crew right here, bro. Glasses crew.
Can't see shit.
Same. That's right,
Travis,
Don.
you got to get with the program.
there,
Where's
Don.
the glasses at?
Heck yeah.
So how's Andrew?
Look at
How's
them
this
bifocals,
match?
Don.
How's this match gonna go down? Are we looking at I don't know. I guess we were saying classic hook versus top roll, but let's be real. Is this gonna be a press versus top roll kind of match?
No, basically what I've been doing for my training is whatever Ricky has me doing. And the only reason why I press is if I have a bad angle and instead of taking a loss or an elbow foul or nothing, I'll jump into the press because who's gonna stop it,
Okay.
Only a few people can, like the pros and stuff, but it's just a go-to for like an emergency thing. But I don't really need to. I feel like my best move is my top roll.
Okay.
I feel like my best move is the top roll because that's what I've trained the longest and the most out of everything else. So, talking to Travis, as far as I know, I thought we were gonna hook. I don't know what's gonna go, but I've been training the hook because I've been trying it out, and I want to really show that I can do multiple things. I'm not just going to a tournament and then losing and not progressing. Like I said,
Right.
whatever my coach has me doing is what I'm gonna do down to the T. And look at my last super match with Brandon. It didn't go how I thought left-handed, but right-handed I dominated. And I've been feeling really good recovery-wise. So I think for right now, what I'm just gonna do is hook because I've been working on staying connected. And I don't really see myself losing this 3-0 or either with Travis. I feel like it's going to be a 2-1. I feel like Travis will get me on the first pull or two. Maybe there'll be a foul in there, but After I kind of feel where he's at, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a brick wall. You know, it's gonna be whoever catches who's timing better. You know, and credit to Travis, I'm gonna say he's probably better off on the start than me. Most people are, and so I've been working on that a lot, just of timing more than anything, because strength wise, I don't think there's too many people, unless they're like fucking super heavyweights, you know, but there's not too many people that can handle my strength right now. And I think I gotta just stick with what I know in terms of, like, Travis starts beating me in my hook, I'm gonna top roll him. But yeah, right now I'm just want to hook, because I feel like Travis will give me a good battle for that. And I want to try it out, you know. I'm not one dimensional. I have different tools and I'm gonna use them. That's pretty much it.
Right. Nice. I think it's gonna be a good match.
Yeah. Dig into that tool chest. Dig in that chest, buddy.
Yeah. I haven't competed with either of you, but I've, you know, slow pulled you both of you guys in a lot of different angles. And I think this is going to be a good match. I agree. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 match. I think we could be looking at some back and forth happening, perhaps some interesting adjustments. So definitely looking forward to that one. Will, we were talking about your match earlier with Mike Linder. Have you, I know you haven't competed with Mike, but you guys like practice pull at our practice, right?
Yeah, great dude. Highly recommend it. I mean, he's strong. Why wouldn't you want to pull him?
Yeah, right. For sure.
Fuck that.
And you're feeling you're feeling pretty ready for the match?
Hell no. I'm fucking working out hard. It's just a practice match. I'm not gonna stop working out.
Yeah.
Since I actually started, why go backwards, you know? Because I mean, like you said, we practice every Sunday. I could have a super match with him next week, or the week after, or the week after. So it was just we just happened to be in the same podcast, and Derek was like, "Will, Mike, you down?"
Yeah. See, he got sucked in too. You got to watch that Derek guy.
It's just gonna be fun, you know. Not really for anything. It's just, why not? You know.
We should have said, "Hey, Derek, Mega Mike, let's go."
Yeah, right.
Hey, yeah, who's Derek pulling?
That'll be a day.
Oh, hi, Josh.
You just noticed it?
Love you, buddy.
What's up? Love you, buddy.
I feel like an old man. I'm all looking down. Hi, Josh.
Hey,
how are you? You just see my forehead?
Sorry, dude.
So tell me the truth, Josh. Have you been training and studying Lorenzo's recent competition footage? Are you getting yourself prepared for this match?
No.
Well, I did say be honest, and that sounded pretty honest. So
I've been watching Lorenzo since I started, man. He's one of my favorite people in the sport. Like, that's why I said it's I mean, I love everybody, but since I met him, his personality is just super outgoing, you know, humbled everyone, great guy. And so just having a match with him is a win for me. But no, to be honest, I'm just trying to come in healthy, man. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I never stop arm wrestling, so I definitely I'm always twisting my hand and doing stuff like that with other people's hand. But I've never been the guy to do much gym training. I probably need to figure that out at some point. But the constant arm wrestling has kept me at least relevant with my peers. So yeah, I just want to be healthy so I can respectfully give Lorenzo a match, you know.
Now, this is left arm or right arm? I don't remember.
They both suck.
It's right arm. See, that's part of it's part of the blessing. It's part of the blessing, right? Lorenzo was like, "Look, bro, you stand no fucking chance left-handed," and And I was like, yeah, I know. And then he was like, so we'll do right. It's pretty much the way it went without any of those words. But yeah, no, he was just an awesome dude to, you know, be like, hey, we can go right. You know, I know that Lorenzo is dominant left, which I'd love to do both hands, right? But yeah, do I feel like I'm there yet? You know, with my left, no. Does that mean I won't have the match? No. Like, I would definitely love to pull him at, you know, any point. But this is right hand. So when, you know, he fucking waxes me right hand, and it's like, dude, I beat you with my weak arm. Go home, you know, and then I'm gonna go home. So that's how that'll be.
You know, it shows up sometimes it doesn't. It's there one day. It doesn't feel like doing something the other day.
That's
Like,
what she said.
Yeah, that gets
I'm
worse
hoping
with
it's on
age.
vacation this weekend. I'm hoping
You
your
know?
right arm is on vacation, and you know, it's
Remember-
doing other things.
You remember that movie Idle Hands?
Of
It has
course.
like, it has a mind of its own, dude. It just does whatever it wants. It's like, I'm working out. I don't know if my right arm is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be a really good time. I love all the Armfest practices, and it's gonna be good to see you guys from up north coming
No,
down.
but I appreciate the call out though, because you know what? I was being real stagnant and not really training, just doing practices. We got a lot of new guys, so I was having fun with, you know, seeing them grow and stuff like that. But
Pause.
now gives me something to look forward to, man. Gets me off the couch.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
tired of jumping into all these tournaments and losing for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
We were supposed to train for the past 2 years, but we didn't start till like a month ago.
You know, you get it eventually. And you know how you were saying, it's like things will come to you. You're saying, Josh, you're not a big gym person. Neither was I the first 2 years. But then as you progress, as your tendons, as your body changes and stuff like that, I built arm wrestling and I built strength at the same time, which is stupid because it takes forever. But, you know, it comes to like that knowledge that everybody gives to you when you first start out. You get bombarded with knowledge, and then none of it makes sense. But then as you move up in levels, you're like, you did say that. Crazy. And then now you understand what they were saying behind it. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, I totally agree with that. I get that. It's like when I first met like a lot of you guys, you know, you'd be like, hey, try this or do this. And I'm like, I am with every ounce of my soul. I'm trying, right? But it's not working. And then,
we would do that to
but
Will
now,
all the time. We would do that to Will all the time. We'll just post. I'm trying.
I'd be screaming like, "What the fuck do you think I'm doing? I'm not just not doing this thing. I'm fucking doing it." You know, that shit. I got so mad.
Right. Yeah. No. But things are starting to come together now, and it's everything's slowed down, right? At first, everything was so antsy and everything was so like jittery, and man, I'm gonna make the wrong move or whatever. But now, now it feels like a dance. Like now I can feel myself on the dance floor, and I know I'm supposed to be there. So, no, it's definitely starting to click, and I hope I do find a way to utilize the gym and make that, because I want to, you know, take it to the next level, and I know that's necessary. So, you know, I've done things like, you know, change the eating habits. I'm doing things slowly but surely. Yeah.
You know, I
but
think
again,
Travis Bajan had one of the best advice for. Oh my bad. I think Travis Bajan had one of the best advice for going into the gym. He was like, when you first start, just go, get water, talk to girls. He's like, just go, and then see how consistent you can be when you're going. Then you'll find something to do. You're in there. You don't want to be that creep walking around looking at people. You're gonna find something to do. And then you'll notice as you go to practice if it's working or not.
Right. yeah, you find the workouts you're good at and the ones that you enjoy, and then eventually you realize, oh, now I need to do the workouts that I'm not good at, and because there's a reason for it. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Hey,
With
I used to not be able to do pull-ups at all, bro. Now I can bust out some pull-ups, bro. And
yeah.
and I still got a kangaroo pouch going on. So, I'm
No, it's
just
just a
saying, like
added weight.
I can max out like 17 pull-ups right now. I mean, that's a lot for me, right?
Damn, I
Because
can't even do
Wait,
that.
your
that's
boy
good.
started
Yeah.
out where I was doing like 3 and 4, but so again, that's me just listening to Brezink, and he's like, just arm wrestle and do pull-ups, and so that's what I've done since the beginning. But yeah, I know there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat for sure.
I don't know why you're skinning a cat.
Yeah,
No,
don't skin cat.
I'm not. It's yeah, you know what I meant. Look, you know what I meant.
I'm just
Hey,
saying,
bro,
bro.
was that a reference to Johnny Dang? What was that about?
Poor cat.
Dang. Dang.
Yeah, Johnny, I know you heard that, Johnny.
Is that why you only own dogs?
Yeah, you hear a lot of people relate pull-ups to arm wrestling because it's compound and you use a lot of the same muscles all together, especially if you're doing the close neutral grip pull-ups.
Hey, Don, how many can you do nonstop, Don?
Well, if you do the short pump ones, I can do a lot of them. I don't do a whole lot of full ones. I don't think I mix them in there, but I do a lot of short ones, short pumps.
I
Like
can
this,
see
But I
Don
stop at the
getting
90
into the
degrees?
zone doing
But-
like 100.
well, I can do a lot of them though.
How many is a lot? You're talking
I don't
30,
know,
40,
40,
70?
50, 40, 50 or so.
Yeah. See? I bet you're right there, Kane, huh? 50 pull-ups, no problem.
For this way, yeah. 40 or 50, I'm sure. I just
That's
don't,
because Kane's built like a lobster.
yeah.
You built like a lobster.
I don't train them that way though. I like doing just 2 fingers. I like doing these 2 a lot. And I like to add weight. If I'm not adding weight, it's usually it'll be 1 full range followed by 5, close range, and then repeating that cycle, full, and then 5 of these. And then when I feel like I can't do that many more, that's when I stay static here. Maybe do a few of these. Because yeah, I think that pull-ups are extremely similar to arm wrestling, but the only difference is it would be a lot more static. One of the fundamental things that I think, especially gym people and people that are athletic in other sports, when they first come into arm wrestling, the hardest thing that they've got to get past is the squirreliness. They all want to give like this big surge and then give it up, this big surge and then give it up, and keep doing that. And I feel like one of the biggest arts to starting to understand arm wrestling is the ability to slow it down with constant pressure and really elongating that constant pressure. At least for me, like what you were talking about earlier, Lorenzo, and you, Josh, when people would tell you things and you're like, you don't get it until a few years later. For me, that was through getting the constant slow pressure to start slowing down. Because then when you can do that and you can pull for like a while with constant pressure, now in practice, you can kind of revolve through all the angles and start understanding the defenses and tactics. But if you're just coming in and just like, oh, okay, that didn't work. Oh, okay, that didn't work. Oh, okay, that didn't work. You're nothing's like not a whole lot's happening there. But that's just my belief. Who else does pull-ups here? Lorenzo, do you do pull-ups?
No. But I can bust out like 20.
Okay. Right on.
Hey, well, look, now that Don was talking about those half ones, I probably can't even do 17. I mean, because I'm doing those half ones.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think
I'm
it's more
doing the
impressive
90
me and
degrees,
Will
bro.
doing pull-ups because we have like a
Now you're
mile to
doing those
go.
straight arm shits.
Travis, you're doing pull-ups all day, huh?
No, I don't train like that. I'm gonna start doing more pull-ups. But I could probably hop on and do like 16 full pull-ups right now, but probably half pull-ups, probably like 30, I don't know, something like that. But I would like to get Cody Wood. I would like to get on his level because like that dude, he's
Oh, that
one of
guy's
the
nuts.
he's one of the best arm wrestlers in the country, and that the dude strictly pretty much does pull-ups and like rock climbing type stuff. So I mean, that guy, I mean, those guys in the South, they train different than we do. But they're animals. Hunter Knopf, Cody Wood. I mean, they're just on a different level right now. So, yeah, if you want to train correct, you got to do what the hell they're doing right now. They're on another level.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of what they are doing is really specific and valuable to a successful lightweight arm wrestler. I believe training for a lightweight arm wrestler is going to look a lot different than training to be a heavyweight or a super heavyweight arm wrestler. And yeah, who did I hear recently saying that oh, I think it was ET. I was watching ET's interview with Ray, Coach Ray, and he was talking about how he's had this recent realization where if he was going to start looking up at certain elite arm wrestlers and who to try modeling certain training aspects off of, that instead of trying to model himself off or learn from things like Devin Larratt or these guys that are competing at heavier weights, who's successful down in that 165 range and everything like that, because it is very different. Andrew, I bet you can do a lot of pull-ups.
Like 4.
He does like 4.
I mean it really
With like 5
depends on the
plates.
type of pull-ups that I'm doing. You know, I do a lot of pull-ups, but I'll focus strictly on lats and just hand grip. I don't specifically do it for arm wrestling like I should with an underhand grip or just a neutral grip on the side. I'll go really wide and get my lats big. That's
A lot of
just for
shoulder
deadlifts.
lat.
Yeah, so I'll do it like literally all the way up to the top, pause it for like a second or two, go all the way down till I'm fully extended. And then once that I get to that point, I kind of relax a little more because then my shoulder blades I'll get a little leeway, dip even further down, and then I'll go all the way up to the top just to stretch it. But that is only because for deadlifts, I train that specifically for that. You know what I mean? Like it's not my legs are really heavy, so I don't know how many I could get straight, but I'm pretty sure I could do about 20. And then in that position, like if I go like this, I don't know, I could probably go as much as I want, to be honest. It's just a lot easier because the leverage point, it's kind of more like a row when you're doing it like this. So I don't know. I mean, I like them and I think they're super. If you're not incorporating them into your training, then it's kind of like it's using something that's handed to you that you can do that doesn't require weights that you can do it at home. So it's something like if you're not doing it, you just don't want to. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I don't train specifically to do pull-ups, but I can do a few. But I was gonna tell Travis, Travis is gonna get the mask on Sunday. That little spiky one.
Hell yeah. Yes. Yes.
Hold on. So basically, you said you can do 4 pull-ups, right? That whole story? 2? Okay, got you. I didn't get a number, dude.
Okay, so
Hey,
wait.
hold on. I can only count up to 2. Okay. I'm going to.
You gave us half a
Yeah.
book, bro. I just needed a number.
Hey,
So
bro,
you guys
calm down.
You guys weren't in you weren't in yet when we started talking about weight classes. I don't know if you were listening already at that point, but yeah, we were talking about starting to do a ranking for the 145 and below weight class, doing a round robin for them at North versus South. And that, brought up the question, should it be 145 or should it be 154? So basically, in a nutshell, our California ranking system and also the way tournaments are mostly run is 165 pounds, jumps up 25 to 185, then 205, and so on and so forth. Whereas the rest of the country and most other states, it's different. It's 154, 176, and I think 198.
I think
So
that's for two reasons. I think
right.
that's one, because lazy. And then I think for two, just before, when everybody started all this, they just didn't have that many entries.
Now we're
Or
talking
the entries,
California, the reason why we have it the way we have it. Is that what you're referring to?
yeah, because you can do every 10 pounds, I think, you know what I mean? But that's a lot to keep a track of for any one person or any group
Well, I
of
think
people,
the other states are a 20-pound differentiation, but it is 10 pounds off from ours, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So instead of 165, 185, it's 154 to 176. And,
Oh, I feel you. Yeah.
or 175 and then 176 to 198. So if you could choose, like, I mean, think of like as a competitor, with where you sit and weight, would you, so Lorenzo, you're usually like a 205 guy. Would you rather compete in the 198s or the 205? I guess that's
Oh,
the big
100% 198, because I sit at 195. I just compete at 205 because it's that higher class. I mean,
closest thing.
that's where the weight cap is, but I sit at 195 regularly. So 198 would be perfect. Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Andrew? What weight class system
Um,
would you be more partial to?
Probably a higher one. Um, right now I'm looking to get heavier. I'm pretty fucking heavy right now. So like from what I weigh right now compared to what I weighed at the tournament, uh, let's just say I got like a little 2%, 3% boost in strength because I'm heavy right now. But for weight classes, I've always done 198 because powerlifting, jiu-jitsu, and arm wrestling, those are a pretty generalized category because once you start going over 200 pounds, it's kind of a different ball game. But I think for me, if I wasn't gonna go up in weight, 198 would be perfect just because I'm used to it. I don't have to cut a lot. You know what I mean? It's more kind of like Lorenzo, just sitting around there naturally. It's just he's a lot taller and I'm just a lot shorter and stubbier. So I feel like
But same.
Yeah, no, I'm going up. I'm gonna be going up for sure. And because even for the tournaments at UAL, I want to do heavyweight and super heavyweight. I want to do that. And it's not mainly, it has nothing to do with like not wanting to pull lower weight classes, nothing like that, because a lot of the guys are really good and have way better technique. I always tell this, like, generally the smaller people have better technique, better form, better hand grip than a bigger, stronger person because they just rely on their strength more. But I feel like with me going to a super heavyweight class would be really fun because I have the strength, um, you know, for the most part to handle some of those guys until you start getting to like the 300-400 pound big boys, and I won't stand a chance. But it's just fun. But yeah, I had to give another book just to make Lorenzo smile.
Well, it sounds like the majority of us, well, pretty much all of us on the show, so far in agreement, I think, with the way the other states are doing it. It would be nice to unify with them as well. So we will be in talks with that. And speaking of which, I just had Santino Bravo message me, who's interested to talk about that. So I'm gonna send him the link and get him on here with us. And also just want to acknowledge a couple chats that we have here. Where do we leave off? So Todd Colazzo says, Andrew's too skinny. I agree, dude. Emaciated. Yeah.
Boost up that weight. Boosties.
Didn't you see that that mass gainer recipe that I put on the team page, bro? Come on. You're too skinny.
You know what? I was losing weight for like the last 2 months like crazy, and I couldn't figure it out why. Like my diet, I think it had a lot of it to do with like my life issues going on right now, and it really messed with my energy and everything. But I mean, I was getting pretty skinny at a point. Like I was dipping under 200, and I was eating and trying to keep the weight on, and I just couldn't. It was almost like if I was sick without being sick, and you just drop that weight so fast, and then you're like crap, and you feel weaker. So I don't know if I want to go back to skinny.
No, you're doing just fine, bro.
I thought we were up at 170 for this match.
Oh, you guys would see me on life support at 180.
Yeah, his legs are 170. All right, so we've got we got Jose Tavares is in the house from Mexico. He says, "What's up, everybody? What's up, Jose? Good to see you. I'll be seeing you May 4th at our super match."
Is that who you're pulling?
Yeah, dude. It's probably the biggest I've tried to. Yeah, no, just it's yeah.
Are you going left and right with him?
I think it's just right, but there's going to be a tournament after, so I'm sure I'll see him both arms in that. But the dude's the national champion in Mexico. He's I believe a 154, but he's going to be competing with me at 165. So I think he's coming up, and I'll be staying right around there. We'll see how it goes. But dude, I have like so much respect for that guy. I just, I'm really excited to be training really, really hard for this and get the opportunity to have a match with him. All those guys out there in Mexico are really, really cool people. So yeah, anybody out here or Arizona, New Mexico, any of that, like come to this event in Mexico, May 4th. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really good. We got Benjimac in the house. What's up, Benji? Tara Terry is in the house. Yeah. Good to see you, Tara. Tara says that we need a lightweight women's class. 100%. Women's classes, she said, should be no more than 10 to 15 pound jump from one class to the next. I completely agree. And so Tara, yeah, with the featherweight for the men's, the biggest thing that kind of sprung the entire thought process was the state championship, because we actually just had such a huge turnout. I noticed there was a lot of sub 145 people at 165 class, both amateur and pro. So the competitive demand was there, and that was the big inclination to do this.
Are you talking about the UAL tournament?
Yeah, there was such a huge show up in the lightweight.
There was like 25 competitors alone in that class.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was completely crazy. So, I mean, that was just proof in the pudding that the competitive pullers in that weight are there. You need to see the same thing in the women's class. And I'm a believer that, like, we don't have to just sit around and wait for enough of them to show up, once we want to decide that it's something that can be done in tournaments and in our rankings and everything like that. If I'm sure there's things that we can do to kind of like lead things that direction. But I'm really looking to talk to more female ambassadors for here in California with interesting ideas of, I don't know if this is going to have to start with outreach or what, but we need more women pullers to have ladies like you, Tara, and Malia not competing with 154-pound women. That's tough. But if you and that woman are like the only ones that happen to come to that tournament, maybe two or three others, like I get it, but yeah, I don't know. Just yeah, let's fix it. Let's
Recruit.
fix it somehow. Let's do something.
We got to recruit.
I didn't even see any women pulling at that tournament.
Yeah, in the it was the pro day. There was
It's the day before.
there was a few, yeah. There was Stephanie
Sorry,
Spencer.
I'm just a crappy amateur. I'm sorry.
Well, you
all
should
right.
come support us. We came to support you, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
You gotta pay for my ticket, Kane.
You mean you buy one day, you get both?
Yeah.
You beat
Yeah, I know, but
beat Travis and we'll talk.
honestly, I
I'll sponsor
credit
you
to
for
Travis
next year.
because I'm gonna hold you to that, King. But I'm honestly like I have a lot of respect for Travis for even like calling me out because nobody's really been giving me any traction or nothing. And then the people that I beat in practice, none of them wanted to do super matches. I'm not gonna call out any names, but but anyways, I was like super excited because when Travis called me out, it's like okay, he's obviously more experienced, and I like I said, I think his hit is a little better than mine. Cleaner for sure. Just watching him and like studying his movements, it's not gonna be easy. Like if I do think that I'm gonna beat Travis, but I don't think it's gonna be easy, like at all, to be honest. Because for somebody that's in a lower weight class than you to call you out, obviously he has confidence and he has an expectation to be able to, murk me. So it's exciting and it's fun because I don't see somebody like Travis as like an easy task. It's really not. A lot of the guys from the compound have been coming up, to be honest. So like I said, it's a lot of respect to Travis, but I think I'm still gonna beat him. But he's gonna give me a battle, and there's nothing for respect for somebody lower to challenge somebody up a lot higher, like heavier, you know. Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I think he has good strength too. Like when you watch him doing his training, it's really like you could tell that he's connected with what he's doing, and that's kind of a lot better because at this UAL tournament. There is this I don't know if he's like an Armenian dude or something, but he beat me at the tournament, but in practice I was smashing him and his whole squad. And what it was is the initial hit, I took him lightly because I was already destroying practice. Like, I mean, I posted my videos up and he's one of the guys that just couldn't move me and I just boop. But that being said, when you take people lightly, especially somebody who's, I mean, obviously I'm shorter, but Travis doesn't have the size advantage in this. But you can't take it lightly because that's when you lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like for Travis, I'm bringing everything, like everything, because it's almost that feeling of like, okay, if Travis beats me right now, I gotta quit because for him to outwork me and we're not even in the same weight class. You understand what I'm saying? It's not outworking me in terms of like in the gym and stuff. It means he wanted it that much more that he outworked me to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of a battle. I feel like it's more of a mind game battle. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I respect the fact that you put that kind of pressure on yourself and expectation leading into a match because it's important to really believe that you can and should win. Just if it doesn't go your way, don't do that. Stick around.
No, yeah.
Stick around.
I'm just being critical. I'm just being critical.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, that's cool. So we do have Santino Bravo in the house. What's up, Santino?
Hey, Santino.
So you've been watching, following our discussion on the California weight classes. Obviously, it was sprung through the conversation of what should the featherweight weight class look like since we're trying to get that going. What are all your thoughts on that, Santino?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. Like,
Okay.
mostly league and committee related. Before I even get into the weight classes, I don't want to cut you guys off by discussion about your super matches or like tangent off to something else, because I got like a whole page of notes I've been keeping track of. Obviously, don't have to go through all of them, but just some thoughts I've been having for a while that I've come up on my own and in discussion with my team. So if that's all right with you guys, I start with a few.
That's what this platform is
Yeah,
for.
please tell us everything, Santino. Everything.
Okay, first I want to start off with who actually is on the committee for the Arm Wrestling League? Because, well, leave you guys to answer that one first.
So, to my understanding, it has for a little while now primarily been Christian and Caleb, at least operating the rankings. I know there's been a few other names that were involved, at least at one point, but I'm pretty sure it mostly fizzled into just being those two guys. They've been holding down most of what you've been seeing for a little while now. Josh and I just got involved in the committee as well. And so it's pretty much us four that are actively communicating all of these things and, what's currently going on and anything that we can do to, I don't know, improve things or shake things up a bit. So the basic understanding, the one we came on, in both me and Josh's opinions, Caleb and Christian have been holding it down pretty good with the rankings. I think we both agree that they're solid. It's a good system, and we definitely like that they involve the community and how that structure should play out. What kind of system to expect. So that said, even though they've been really involving us in ranking box, from my end, it was just like, you guys just keep doing what you're doing. Josh and I want to be very helpful with things like, events, promotion, any unification. Unification was a big topic that brought Josh and I on, wanting to, efforts in that direction, unify California, and in turn unify, every state in our nation. So, sorry if that was long-winded, but
No, that was perfect, because the follow-up was, one, who's on the committee? Two, what is the purpose or goal of the committee for the Arm Wrestling League? So, like, what is the league? And I think you covered that pretty much with covering from rankings to unifying to getting promotions, the whole, excuse me, the whole organized front. So from there, because I think that's one of the, for me personally, and I think every single person I've talked to, it wasn't until last month that I had any idea who actually was on this committee. Because you ask, I don't know how it is in SoCal, but everybody up here, ask anybody, hey, who's on the Arm Wrestling League committee? It's like, no, nobody has a slightest clue of who's been doing it, what have the objective or goals they've been having. So that's one of the things I wanted to get down, because a lot of the stuff I have brought up with Caleb when he's been at our practices, but his responses were mixed on some of them. So that covered that. Another thing is, and this is a bigger one that I did bring up with Caleb that he didn't seem to care too much for, but I do think it's perhaps one of the most important parts, is who should be on the committee? Now, that's a rhetorical question, but one of the bigger ideas I had with getting the input from everybody in an organized fashion, getting the people involved and connected who should be connected, is having one of the ideas that I thought was a team captain or representative to be on the committee. But when I was thinking that around, there's a lot of teams, that's a lot of people that in a committee might not be the best, but having every team have, whether it be a captain, a veteran, or some representative involved in the process, is the absolute most important thing I think that could be done. And I'm posing this to you guys, since you guys are the acting committee currently, is the reason I think that's important, because a lot of the stuff you guys will put on to the arm wrestlers are like, what are their thoughts? What are their input? But it's very disorganized in some of the things. So a poll gets put up by Caleb. A lot of time the poll is asking two or multiple conflicting questions. It's left up for maybe 12 hours. not everybody sees it. Not everybody has time to discuss it with their teams. You get a lot of input from people out of the state taking part in that voting process. So I think, and also not including the people that aren't on Facebook, Instagram, or social medias who just happen to know guys from their team. So I think the idea of having whether whatever motions the committee puts forth or the league comes for the arm wrestlers put forth to the committee, that it should be passed by this acting body of representatives of the actual arm wrestlers for the teams. So that was one of the points to get your feedback on that quickly.
Okay. I have a lot I'd like to say about that, but Josh, is there anything that you want to touch on with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime that you can involve everyone to make it more even keel across the table, where it's unbiased, if you will, it kind of helps with that, having somebody from each organization or team involved. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of positives that come from that for sure. But on the other hand, of that, it's kind of like, maybe you whittle it down to where you have a few representatives from the north and a few from the south or something like that, because I feel like with too many people, it could get kind of tangled and weird, right? So
To be clear, I want to clarify that when I'm saying the representatives, I'm not saying them directly involved in the head committee, if we'll say, versus they act in part of the voting process of what gets approved for the league. So briefly, let's say we decide we want to put up to vote or an idea of whether or not we should change the rankings throughout the state. That would be something that gets put out to the representatives. They discuss it with their team. The actual arm wrestlers get their input. They come back, have it more organized, like a Congress, if you will, to where it's like, okay, here's the period of what we're voting. This is what the league has put forth. The representatives have voted on it. This motion passed. It didn't pass. And I think that, in my opinion, that's a more organized way of getting direct feedback from the pollers than just having anyone chime in when they can. But just to clarify, because I do agree, if they're directly on the committee, it can be a lot because there are a lot of teams. But that's what I wanted to just clarify.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want to touch on that a bit. So when Josh and I first came on with Christian and Caleb, it wasn't so much of a too many cooks in the kitchen suddenly happening. They were both like, please, please come on and help. And I think that's been the general consensus since Caleb literally started this himself. I think 3 years ago, somewhere around that time. And there was a lot of people, he does actively try to reach out to the community for help in making decisions, and he has actively reached out to the community in terms of certain heads that are active in the state, and there just wasn't enough action. I guess just not a lot happening or organization taking place in those senses. So really, I know for a fact that Caleb from day one has been open to assistance with all of this. So I don't know if you, Santino, if you saw that Unify California post that I posted a couple months back or something. It had a lot of information on it and ideas to do that. And it involved a lot of affiliates. So, if the committee currently is Christian, Caleb, myself, and Josh, we all kind of have something different that we bring to the table, but the biggest thing that we have in common is we are actively talking about these things. We are actively trying to, and we can depend on that. We can depend on each other if there's moves that need to be made and changes that need to happen. And I have discussed this with them. We just need to kind of do it. But I believe we need affiliates for the committee as well. And so pretty much on the same page as you. I think those affiliates should be team heads, but yeah, definitely isolated to affiliates. If they wanted to actively be involved in the committee and always be following the rankings and every little change that we need to, tirelessly keep up on, they would be doing it because that call to arms has been there, but I think they can be available and helpful to the capacity if certain things like those polls that you saw came up could be addressed and voted on. That was the one issue I did have with the poll. On one end, I see the beauty of it, just sending it straight to the community of California. But you're right, a lot of the people on that page are not from California. And my biggest thing is, just to be quite frank, a lot of people aren't very qualified to make those decisions or being involved in a poll like that. And a lot of it was clearly biased to me between whatever the poll was for. That, yeah, it definitely favored this group of people, or yeah, it favored this group of people, and that's why it kind of like worked out however it did. Whereas me, I would rather be trusting those team heads, or just, getting the people that we believe are qualified to make tough decisions. And more often, I would think those people are going to be people that have been in the sport a while. They've gone through change. They've seen things work and not work. But that's kind of pretty much what I think. It's just about organizing it into a form that we can do that. I think the issues themselves that need to be addressed, like the weight classes. I believe the poll was a different thing on weight classes.
Yeah, that was
like how many classes you could be ranked in. For those things, I think the solution is definitely easy. Rather than putting out an immediate poll, like you said, it's going to be there only for, a half a day or a day or whatever. That it be something that could be put out there for at least a week to a, message to all the team heads and see what they all have to say. Would that be something you think that would be more?
Yeah, that it kind of leads into the brief next point, is that regardless, because you guys are the ones on the committee currently, you guys are the ones getting all this set up. So these are things outside input I put in, one, to be helpful, and also just some concerns going forward, as there are a lot of ideas, great ideas, a lot of thinking about the future, that now is the time to lay the groundwork for everything to be organized and structured, so that when you step away from the sport or have things come up or the next generation's coming through, everything is already built in place for them just to pop in and take off with it. So regardless of what the committee decides to do in regards to having the team representatives, it's utmost important. I did bring it up with Caleb like last month, but it needs to be posted who the committee is on the page, so people know if there's anything they need to bring up, it's easy to find.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you brought up the ranking, if we could go into that, one of the issues I have with the rankings is, and I brought this up with Caleb too, is it needs to be, in my opinion, the criteria for what goes in determined rankings needs to be written down, bullet point by bullet point, detail for detail. So one, people can view it and see what it is that is being considered. So there's no confusion of what it is. It's already there. Also, what is the established purpose of the rankings? Is it to determine who is the best in that class by the number, or is it more of a representation of recent results, to where it's still like they're the best, but then it's more subjective to how they've been tracking recently? So more of a track record in a way, but more solid in terms of the legitimacy of it. It's not just you won, so now you're ahead. Versus compared to being more like, even though you may have won this one, this track record of your last 6 matches in the last month indicate that was a fluke. Things like that. One, establishing what is the purpose of the rankings, and what is the exact criteria that goes into determining that? If you guys could briefly give me your input on that.
Yeah, the criteria is definitely an important one for me, and one that I believe Caleb did have like a type of criteria that was listed somewhere. I think it just needs to be updated and posted regularly on the page. And I am writing down notes for all these topics that you're bringing up, so they can be pushed forward to discuss. But criteria is one, made more public. But I can tell you that the general consensus, I know for the rankings, where Christian and Caleb have been coming from, is definitely more of there is a criteria, and it's more structured. It is based on a track record, results from events. And I am more partial to that. I believe like Chance Shaw's ranking system incorporates some of these, other unknown factors and stuff, and basing value on an arm wrestler on more things maybe than just, the recent showings or something like that. And then you've got Aries on the other end of the spectrum that is 100% like ratings,
Yes.
So and I'm personally more in that camp, because when there's unknown factors, it kicks the door open just for drama. There's just going to be too many people that are going to complain this, and that. As long as there is that publicly accessible criteria that says this is how you get ranked. This is how you can be put in the top 10. Like for example, to make it into the top 10 in one of the pro weight classes, you have to beat somebody twice to get on that list in the first place. But once you're on that list, you only have to beat that somebody once to advance within that class. So that's like one of the definitive things that makes it like, if you're going to get on that list, it has to be convincing. You can't just have that one fluke win off of somebody ranked and suddenly you're number 7. You got to do it a couple times. And since it's mostly tournament based, that's going to happen in a tournament. So basically, if they come back and beat you in the B bracket, you're not getting on the top 10 list because you happen to beat somebody at the beginning of a tournament and then get eliminated later. Which brings up the other issue is super matches. There's one camp that believes that super matches is the most definitive way to rank people. And I agree with some of the reasons why. And that is that it's 2 people showing up rested and prepared for a match. And, if they agreed to it, they should be fresh for fresh, or at least at their prepared top condition. And they're having a match as such and seeing what the results are. That's a definitive result from that match. And if they weren't prepared or, whatever, that was their own problem, because all those other unknown variables are taken out. At a tournament, that person that beat you might have been, at the end of the tournament after you've been through the bracket, pulling several people and grinders or something like that. And so people have a issue with that, having a part with the rankings. Whereas on the other end, I can see how tournaments can be a solid ranking system. You're just putting a bunch of people in a room and seeing who the last person standing is, endurance or not. But I guess from the talks that I've been having, Derek Smith has been one I've talked to about this. He's a pretty big fan of the Texas arm wrestling's ranking system that they have out there. Apparently, it's very organized, and from what I understand, they have I believe it's 2 completely different ranking systems, one for super matches and one for tournaments. So I believe what we've been doing with the CAL so far has been incorporating super matches, but it's got to be a confirmed, scaled, weigh-in match, agreed on that it's a ranking match between both parties, and that there's a certified ref involved. We could keep it that way if you want, but it's definitely something worth talking about if you think it's something that could be addressed to all of the team heads.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. Just having it, especially because it's the variables that are hard. It's easy, like you beat somebody, then that's easy to tell who should rank. But quick scenario, polar A beats polar B, loses a C. Polar B loses to A but beats C. C loses.
Right.
So it's like in that scenario, everyone could claim a rank, but having it hammered down to what are the variables, the subjectivity that you guys take into consideration. So I agree with that. Briefly, I think a good idea might be to update the page on certain of those things, but having a list of all the teams in the state and who the contact is for that team. Have that posted or stickied somewhere so that it's common knowledge for everyone to have that there. Someone's visiting out of state, wants to know, hey, who's in this area? What team's there? Who do I contact? Having that stuff readily accessible, I think would be very helpful. Along with Matt Silver does this for the NorCal practice times, which I try to update them as much as I can. Sometimes I'll forget a couple weeks, but having that posted to where if the team opts in to have it more open, to have it posted of when the practice is, what time. So people who are traveling stop by and say, okay, there's a practice, I can hit that out of state, things like that. I really want to give Matt a shout out for that. I'm thankful for that. I also like to see that for SoCal, because I know you guys have a lot of practices, your Armfests. So, and it's similar to what Matt Silva's got for that.
Yeah. Well, question for you, Santino. So, you know, a lot of what you're bringing up is just very proactive, and I really appreciate it, like a lot. That's what this place is for. So with all this insight and concern that you have, would you actually have the time if you were to be involved, like to help with some of these things in terms of how to administrate the page, updating things like that? Is that something you'd be interested in, or would you prefer to be somewhere in that affiliate status as a team head?
Yeah, I did. Don want to say something? I thought I heard him.
Yeah, I was just wanting to say it was kind of bothering me when you were talking about the where you got to beat someone twice for it to matter. And that, I mean, I understand you protect a rank that way, but the guy who got the win, man, you're sure making it sound like it didn't mean shit. That doesn't sound, that's the part that I'm feeling on when you were saying that. I was thinking, wow, you just took the Rocky Balboa win away, it doesn't count now. You got to do it again. And usually when it comes to any boxing match or anything like that, a win is a win and a loss is a loss. No matter what, it doesn't matter who beat you or who you lost against. If you had a fluke and you lost against someone, well, step up and don't lose against them again. I guess it was just kind of, and I understand the protecting of the rank, but again, it just seems like you're kind of dissing the other guy who's trying to come up too.
Yeah, no. I get what you're saying, and that's not what it's intended to be, nor to protect any particular ranking. So let me give an example. So take the Kringle pull. Let's just pretend I was in the 185 class. I wasn't. My competing ranking is in 165, right?
Right.
But if I happen to be in the 185, so I beat Andy Langfield early in the tournament, right? Okay. And then he worked his way back up through the B bracket. Okay. And we ended up seeing each other right before the finals or something like that. And he beat me. So we're basically tied at that point, right? So just because I beat him early in the tournament on one round of a tournament, I don't get to like take his ranking yet. However, if I did beat him like in the tournament, like I got that second win that I needed to eliminate him, then that that would have given me his spot if I was competing and dedicated to that weight class. So I
That
didn't.
makes sense because I was wondering why I jumped up to 5. I was like, but then okay, that makes sense because
Well, he's
my
basically just saying like you have to beat this person. Like, yeah, you could beat him twice, but in the tournament, how Kane's saying it makes sense.
yeah, because I didn't think I deserved to take Anderson's place just off of one win, but I did eliminate him out of the tournament. So I get
Right.
you.
So yeah, it has to do. There's a little bit more to it, like or to add to it. If you only have to beat the guy twice, right? It like if uh he finishes above you, like if you finish above the guy in the tournament, let's say you beat him once and he bombs out, then you don't have to beat him twice to take his rank.
Right.
But if yeah, you only have to beat him twice. Like if he's still in the tournament and you would have to face him again on the other side of the bracket, and that's only like if you're not on the rankings yet. But if you're already on the rankings and you have a single match with somebody in the tournament, I believe from my understanding, you take the ranking with one match, right? Unless unless they bomb it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a complicated one, and it's going to involve just the right verbiage when the criteria is updated and put out for everybody.
Yeah,
And
don't worry about me. I'm dumb. I don't try to understand anything. I just want to know where I'm at.
I love it. There's a lot of people that's the case.
Hey, Kane, I'm gonna take off right now. I was
Okay.
just saying later, but also, if Alex is watching, it was bad advice that he gave to Travis earlier. I'm just I'm just saying because if you watch the video of him and Travis pulling, and then you see me and Alex pulling at the tournament, it's like there's no. I am more than like willing to close my eyes and top roll with Travis with him, and I guarantee you he's not going to beat me in that. But like I had said before, it's not a strength thing for me. I wanted to do hook with him, so I'm assuming we're going to do hook together. I think it's more fair because I have a lot of more strength, obviously, but he has a lot more technique, I would assume, in a hook than me. So I can't use my strength the same way as I would be able to somewhere where I'm comfortable, where I
I'm just saying
normally
you
pull.
gotta win now, bro, because you're saying all this, and as soon as he
Man.
top rolls you, bro, I'm fucking. Oh my god, you're for months,
Look.
bro. For months.
And put some money on this shit,
Amazing that
man.
will take
I'm just saying. I love you, Andrew.
No, I'm just no, he's not. Travis not top roller.
He's not
Okay.
gonna
I'm just saying, Alex, that wasn't good advice, but I hope Travis takes it. That'd be fun. Because if we're gonna go to like where our strong points are, because like how we were talking about, it's practice, right? Like Lorenzo's like, or Will's like, I don't stop training. It's practice. Like that's what it is. So I'm just trying to showcase that I'm working on stuff and it's progressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not so much me being cocky either. It's just I'm saying I have Ricky as my coach, and that's kind of all I got to say for that. But I mean, yeah, don't top roll Travis because I'm gonna top roll you back.
All right. Well, we shall
I'm just
see
messing around though.
this coming Sunday, Armfest at Bruheim in Anaheim. Go to SoCal Armfest to watch the live stream, everybody. Thanks for coming on, Andrew.
Yep. All right, later, guys. Lorenzo, you suck. Bye.
Take care.
Hey, too.
So, in terms of the discussion that we're having, the one thing that I want to make really, really clear is anybody that does want to discuss things like that, that's what this is for. That's what this show has really become. I feel like, especially for the California community, this is where we take action, talk about things, crack open certain topics and everything like that. So Yeah, definitely. Anybody, in the chat or anybody that wants to come on, message us. But I am interested, Santino, in terms of the last thing I asked you is the committee is something that you would want to be involved in. It's not something that like I can, say would happen right now. We'd have to all discuss it collectively and everything, but I'd assume that they would.
Say yes, Centino. Say yes.
So obviously, I'm very comfortable as my currently where I'm at as representative of my team and having an input, but also my involvement with the committee and the league. I would love to, but a lot of it is I understand one currently as it is, what type of commitment it is for time, energy, effort, and trying to organize these things, but also with my ideas of what I think this could become or should become, how much more is involved in that. So my commitment is not so much that I don't want to do it, but it's like, is this something that is not that it's not worthwhile, but is this something that we're all on the same page of what we're looking forward to, where it's not like up in the air of like, what are we doing? But no, there's a specific thing that we want to try to achieve, a goal, a purpose for the league, the committee, and everything. So yeah, I would love to be involved in it, but it's something I do take seriously. I would want to make sure that my involvement is taken as seriously as everyone else's. So it's yeah, I would be interested, but then again, I think it's something that would be better talked out, long form discussion of what our ideas are for the league.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot the link out to Christian and Caleb if they want to hop on and
Definitely
take part in this conversation. But yeah, I mean, like to me, the rankings is the biggie, is making sure everyone's on top of it after a tournament takes place, or ranked super matches. But the little time suckers are kind of the things that we brought up, in terms of like weekly updating and making sure that the page looks good in terms of everyone hitting the criteria, the names of the committee to reach out to. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be too time consuming, but the issue is that the reason why I think it would have to be at least weekly, those things kind of put up in an actual post, is because even I don't know, just when new posts are happening all the time that are just about random California stuff, it just drops all that so far down.
That's one of the things. Like I'm relatively new to social media in terms of activity, so it's like it wasn't until like last winter where it's like after Worlds I was like, well, I gotta come in contact with some of the people and help out with the team. So a lot of things like how you would post things to where like it's easily accessible, whether it's about me. I don't have that much knowledge just because I'm not on social media that much or Facebook. So little issues like that, like the technicalities of it, understandably, yeah, trying to figure out what is the best way to do it. I agree. So there's that.
You guys, we're gonna hop off. It was good seeing everyone. Don, just keep on being Don. And Josh, we'll see you on Sunday. John, we'll see you on Sunday. That one's for you, buddy.
Right on, man.
Santino, it's good seeing you.
As always.
Take care. Take care, Kane.
Take it
Love
easy,
you guys.
See you boys Sunday.
Later, bro. See you, Josh.
Ace Juan says, congratulations, Mr. Bravo. Next best move in the game.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Yeah, Tara says we need a master in the committee. Dawn Mormon, she nominates.
Oh no.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. There's a lot of people that like the committee would instantly think, yeah, they should be in it. But even like they're like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
It's not something that I don't even know what I would be doing.
Yeah.
Well, there's people that build cars, and then there's people that drive them.
Well, then and there's people that make lures and people that fish them.
Exactly.
I fish them.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if Caleb or Christian hops on. Was there something else
Yeah, you guys brought it up earlier, listening to the discussion. I thought everyone made good points about weight classes. And that was one of the things I wanted to bring up because it's more of a discussion. But yeah, I think Evan brought it up is going forward now that we're getting more people involved, we're getting new colors. Like it almost feels like a new era of arm wrestling in the state. How this league is coming together, starting the foundations, building a committee and things like that. Is going forward, what would be the best weight classes in terms of keeping track of rankings for us as athletes going forward? Because as I agree, like promoters, whoever's putting on a tournament, run whatever weight classes they think is going to be the best for their event in terms of participation, recouping some of the money it takes and time to put into these classes to make sure they are properly filled out. So I think promoters should run the weight classes they feel best, as Bill has done for the UAO. And I think that's where our weight classes started from, because Bill's been the one who's been putting on all the best and really only tournaments for the longest time. But we're having more people. Josh setting up a lot of events, having a lot of ideas for that. Jody Smith up here in the north is putting on tournaments. So I think you can have a good foundation of what weight classes we are going to track will help lay groundwork for future involvement. Because I agree with what everyone has said about being more in line with the rest of the nation when keeping our athletes prepared in their weight classes. Like Evan was saying, being either 10 pounds overweight to go a tournament next date, or being 10 pounds underweight is like you're stuck in like the middle. There's not a good position. But yeah, I second what everyone has said and like to discuss that a little more with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think thinking for the bigger picture and thinking forward, converting to something similar to what the rest of the country is doing would make more sense. But you know that it's Bill has to be a big, deciding factor, I feel like, in that. Like we need to talk to him, because like what are we gonna, if we're gonna, because we can track whatever rankings we want to on the CAL, right? But are we actually going to disclude the UAL state championship from those rankings? That would be completely insane. So yeah, it's a tricky one. And if I think all the team heads, affiliates think that converting is the best option for the future of California, then yeah, I think that conversation is going to have to take place with the Collinses and see what they say. But yeah, it's tough. Like the invitational thing that's happening in December that Ricky and Mega Mike, myself and Mike Linder were all preparing for, that's for 176. That 32-man bracket that Ricky and I are doing is for 176, and Mike Linder, what he's doing is for 154. So being probably the biggest event in terms of, the size of the class and the heavy hitters that are in there in the nation, I'm sure for all of us that are going out there to do it, like that's the most serious tournament on our sites. So like me in my position, I have to decide at some point at this year to stop at 165, because I'm not gonna bounce back and forth between anything. My sites are going to be completely to train through to be right at 176. So I don't know, that's just like one example of the situation. If you're actually trying to compete out of the state, even if we're training for 165 here and 175 for somewhere else, it doesn't make a lot of sense, especially for national rankings. I don't really see, we brought it up, but I don't really think there's a lot of other states that we're seeing that 165 bracket for in Aries. Like
no,
we've
so
got weird.
yeah, leading up to this, I wanted to have a bunch of things referenced, so if it brought up or came into contention. But no, what I've noticed on a lot of the tournaments is it's more of local, smaller tournaments that'll feature some different off-cut weight classes, just so they can have enough to fill out those brackets. A lot of them, because IFA and WAF, their weight classes do differ slightly. So I have it written down. The difference for they both feature 154 for their standard lightweight. Obviously, they do go lower for worlds and nationals, but basically they all start at 154. But the difference between a WAF weight class or an EPA weight class at most is 4 to 8 pounds off from each other. So an athlete is only having to drop maybe 4 or be down 4, given whether it's the WAF standard 176 or the EFA standard at 172. Because Sean Hancock with the PAL in the USA, they'll do a lot of some of them at 172 compared to 176. USAA, Leonard Denise, sometimes a lot of them they'll do 54, 76, 98. Sometimes I've seen them do 172. So I think obviously I think we'd go with the more WAF standard because there's tracks every 5 kilo versus IFA. It's odd because they used Mazurenko's weight class when he did one of the PAOs, because I was talking to actually this issue with Leonard after Worlds, like why the discrepancies between the weight classes and why they were what they were. But mainly because these are more in common and in use throughout the country and at an international level. And I think having it for us puts our athletes at a better position to monitor, track what they want to be a part of, but also for other athletes and promoters interacting with our competitors. If, like, for example, Corey Miller's brought up the Super Series. He's doing those. He plans on doing those for all the weight classes, 54, 76, 98. A lot of, I think Caleb's going to one of them is one of the 176 pound round robins, a 154 pound round robin. And I think because of just the commonality of those classes, like you're saying and everyone's saying, it just puts our athletes in a better position to compete, interact, and travel to other organizations, and for other organizations to send their athletes to us as well.
Right.
And also, I forgot to mention, but you guys brought up the women's weight class of how difficult it is for everyone, basically, where it's 0 to 154, then 154 to whatever. But I think, and a lot, we're talking with the promoters, that is not so much a lack of concern or care for having more women's weight classes, but sometimes how participation can be a good showing, and sometimes it could be like 2 or 3. But I think as our league has grown, there's a lot more female competitors, a lot more interest, and I can only see that growing in the future of getting more weight classes that actually are competitive for our athletes.
Sure.
Well, we think, like with the women's thing, you got to think of how many are way under that 154 mark that are pulling in that 0 to 154 class. It would probably be a lot better suited to have like a 0 to 135 and then a 135 to a 155 and then a 155 open or something like that. But because there's so many of them that are smaller, and then there's a few that are right at that 150.
Yeah, and I think
we know how much it is for us with 10 pounds, and you got to think of 110 pound girl going against a 154 pound girl. That's 45 pounds. So imagine the part classes were 45 pounds apart, and you're at the bottom of the class and that guy's at the top of the class. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
So that might deter a lot of women from even wanting to put their neck on the line, because it's like, hey, this girl's 45 pounds bigger than me. I'm not going to go get, my arm ripped off or whatever,
Right.
Well, I'm in the weight class thing myself because I would prefer a 76 class, and everything around here is 185. And the only thing that I have to look forward to that I know of in California that has a 76 is the World Series of Arm Wrestling. And they have the 0 to 176. So therefore, I am looking forward to that one most, because that's where I am at and where I feel like I should compete. However, with Airs saying they're doing their 64 thing, I don't have enough tournaments to compete in that. And how would I get them if we don't have it? I would have to travel out of state just to get those under my belt. So,
And see, what we might need to do is we might need to do North versus South, open this can up, and then link up with Greg Sharp and have him open up a featherweight division for the World Series of Arm Wrestling. Because there's definitely enough pros that are at that weight, that can make 7, 8, 9, 10 guys in a class.
oh yeah, only just it seemed like just really the best guys showed up in the 65s on that one because they had to even go into 76.
Yep.
And those who and it ended up that way too in the final where the 76 guys were top and the 65 guys were below. And that's just how it seemed to work out. So and that's how it should work out, right? I mean, if you're having the best guys in different weight classes, a lot of times those guys in the lighter weight class aren't going to do as well as their heavier competitors, at least when they're in a big or where they got a lot of top guys showing up like that.
Well, example, the World Series of Arm Wrestling is it's not even though that the World Series was held in California, it's not a California promotion. It's a national promotion that's has qualifiers in all different states, and that's more proof in the pudding that resorting way back to what you were saying, Santino, that there is little minor variances outside of the state with different events. However, the most consistent does seem to be that kind of 154 or 176, 198 marker. And I definitely think us being such a huge state in arm wrestling, we kind of need to we really need to have this conversation and we really need to push things forward. Maybe if a state like California got on board with what seems to be the general consensus out there, maybe there would be less variances in other states or other organizations. And I have no problem with small tournaments doing whatever they want because they feel like it's going to fit their promotion better. But in terms of a ranking system, I think we do need to find that consistent weight class and stick to it if we're planning to unite. One of those things where it's both sides are affecting each other, same as the women's class. Josh, I think you brought up a really good point that just one more weight class that splits the difference would make all the change in the world. Because like from the promoter's perspective, well, we tried adding another women's weight class and nobody showed up. We had to combine it into one or two weight classes anyways. But on the other end of the spectrum, maybe more often when there are three offered, you'll get at least one or two more that will show up because of it. I know for a fact that my wife has turned down competing in tournaments because she figured, what's the point? I keep doing this, I'm tiny, at least put me against some women that are, 130 or 135 pounds and below.
Right.
We might have a match. So I know she would show up and do it if those were available. And I really see the worst case scenario happening if we just added one more. Like you said, Josh, like a good 135 to 154. Then if two or three show up that only make up two classes, then fine. Split it up. But I think it would be more valuable to try promoting a third class so that you can hopefully, draw on more that might not in the first place.
Because also another idea, depending on.
Go ahead.
Okay, just quickly, depending on like the size of the tournament, obviously like a state championship or something, that's going to get a bigger draw just because it's that type of caliber. Or if it's a smaller venue or tournament, similar to what they do sometimes with juniors or kids classes, is that they build them on site. So basically, whoever shows up, they decide what would be the best way to bracket these out. I think sometimes might work in some instances where the women's turnout might be smaller or something to where it's not huge differences in weight, but you're pairing them up with something that's going to give them good matches, but also going to draw in competitors knowing that, okay, no matter what happens, I'm gonna have some good matches out of this. But yeah.
Yeah, I could see that being. I could picture Travis Bajent running an event. He'll throw some crazy things out in an event that he puts together. But you know, if we are to consider long term and rankings and everything like that, we can't keep getting away from that. There has to be like an active pursuit
Oh
or
yes.
something that is unified. And the more like it's tough because when things are a certain way, you know, when there isn't that unification between nationals and between weight classes and ranking systems, it's just all the more reason to keep doing something different that doesn't contribute to bringing everything together. So Robert Terry just messaged me and said that he thinks the weight classes, I believe he was saying 0 to 150 is what he likes, and then 175 to 200. So it sounds like pretty much, and then 225, 250. So a 25-pound weight difference starting at 150 pounds. 0 to 135 and 35 to 55 and super for women. Okay. Yeah, and the lower weight, you know, if they don't turn out, he's saying, yeah, you can combine classes. But yeah, I don't know.
You know, how about you know, you should really have some paychecks for the masters. I mean, some of them are on fixed incomes.
Social Security and stuff. Yeah, man.
Well, here's what I don't get about that, right? So, and again, just personal opinion, right? But what I don't get is most of these masters that are pulling are not just guys that are over the age limit. They're guys that have been in the sport for a decade or 2 decades or a long time, right? A lot of them. Why are they not getting paid? Why now that you've been in the sport 3 times as long as this guy, are you not getting paid to win your class? It's interesting, you know, but you're too pro. You're too pro.
It's because, you know, once you get old, they just want to throw you in a home, right? I mean,
Not taking care
It's
of
early
our
retirement.
Oh, hey, we got Gabriel Young in the house. Good to see you, Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Yeah, man, what's happening with you? Hope all is well. Paul Stevens says, I'm the wrong person to put on a committee.
That might mean that you're the right one.
It just might. That's kind of what you want to hear.
Yeah, I nominate Paul now.
Yeah, I second that.
There you go.
Really good things
Although all those opposed say nay.
So
Paul, you're in.
Santino, you know, Robert Terry brought up kind of a very defined 25-pound differentiation that he favors, and it does make sense. It's like whole numbers kind of. You know, 150 and you know 175, I think 200. So the weird ones that we typically see more often throughout the country being the 154s and the 176 to 198 or whatever. Is that because they're trying to base it on the rest of the world on kilos? Is that how it breaks out?
Yeah, so obviously they stem from the WAF weight classes, which go every 5 kilos, because with 65, 85, those are WAF weight classes, but they're like I don't want to say off weight classes, but they're in between. So it goes 154 to actually like 166 to I think 187 or something like that. So on and so forth. But obviously when you transition to pounds, you just round it out to what makes sense. 176, 165, 185. But yeah, the 65, 85, those are classes in WAF, but they're just not as common in terms of I don't know why it was like everyone went with 54, 76 rather than the 65, 85. But I think it's because those were weight classes that the average competitor were closer to there versus like with 165, there's a big drop off from like 0 to 154 versus a 0 to 165.
Right.
To where like a 140 guy, he's going to be at a disadvantage with 154, but you know, there could be some good matches versus 140 still 160s.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, so some of those odd classes where it's come from is just shaving off a few pounds just to make it make sense.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, on my notes, we've got some really good things to discuss and work on pretty much. So yeah, I'll be keeping you posted on that, and we'll definitely try to be more active in reaching out to team heads. I'm sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just so I want to like again go over like why I think it's so important to follow what the nation is doing, because if you get a guy that is number one over here in his class or whatever it might be, right? Let's say 165, that's what we're talking about. You get a guy who's 165. Now he has to go and say, okay, I have another 11, 12 pounds that I can play with. I need to put on weight to compete against these guys nationally because I'm the best guy in this state. But what does that mean when I cross the border? You know what I mean? So like if we follow suit with them and have the same classes across the board, our guys are primed and ready in that class and they know what that weight class feels like. They don't have to go and adjust another 10, 15 pounds and be like, oh, okay, I'm the best in California, but I'm not even number 20 in the nation, or whatever. So I think it's super important because of that alone, because we're trying to get our guys on the main stage and out there with everybody else, right?
Yeah, especially I didn't mention it earlier, but with what the league is trying to put forth of the sponsorship program, getting our athletes, our best athletes out there competing in those tournaments, having this standardized weight class here that's similar to across the country. There is no like, okay, I got to gain or I got to lose. It's ready, go. Our best versus their best, our up and comers versus the field.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. It's kind of a no-brainer that we should all be united to the same class. At least the majority, that is involved in rankings. So I did want to touch on the sponsorship program. So in terms of updates and moving forward with that, the name that I keep hearing being brought up of just the community wanting to get behind is Will Klingman. A lot of people have been wanting to help him, and so I'm thinking, yeah, Josh, you and I talked about doing a collection during North for South, right? For that. And I mean, we could do something in advance. I'm just kind of wondering what should come first. Part of me likes the idea. So when I try and put it out to the community, think I'm not getting enough responses from people. I know for a fact, and know in my heart, the majority of our community, if given the opportunity, would donate, especially if those set names that they know and support are involved. But just getting those names from the community has been very, very difficult. So part of me wants to see what we can actually collect for whoever we decide deserves to be sent over. If we got enough that we could sponsor one person to one great event out of state, then maybe that's what it would have to be. We'd have to, okay, let's figure out who that one person is. But if the collection ended up being really, really good, then yeah, maybe we can afford to send 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 over. Will Kleeman is in the chat and says, don't worry, guys, I got this on my own. I'm getting at it right now. I can't take anything from anyone, donation or not, I can't. Okay. Well, that's the
okay. So Will's out.
That's
also this is like a scenario where having that team representative or something could make situations like this easier, to where there's not a communication lapse where some guys might not be as receptive of putting a name out there or something versus the representatives of the captains. Like, this is what's going on with the league. We need names. These are the people we want to put forth to the committee to consider for these options, but I agree there hasn't been as much a response. I don't know if that's a lack of an engagement from the community currently, or just lapses in communication of missing certain things.
Maybe that's where the idea of having, the heads of all the teams, maybe they nominate one person from their team that they feel like is deserving or whatever. And then from there, we whittle it down through a poll. But that way we'll have involvement already happening.
I've done that, but I'm not getting enough response. I need a lot more from the North teams. I need and I could probably be more active about reaching out to them more directly, but I need more from the North teams. I've got, my nominations for Alpha Empire, for the OC team, I believe for the San Diego team. And then it could definitely be put up to the community for who the final say so is. But yeah, the other big part of the discussion is who deserves it. What kind of athlete are we looking for, and I don't think it should seem like a charity case. It's something that, this pushes for, we want to see money flow for athletes in this sport, something we don't see enough. So this is an effort to kind of like kick that door open, even if the sponsors aren't getting involved. We're getting the community behind our star athletes. So does that mean we just want to help send over the best of the best? Are we looking, to do that? I think a lot of those names are going to be no-brainers, and we could even go off the rankings if we wanted for that. When names like Will or Chewy are brought up, these are names. I think the whole motivation of why they were consistently brought up is because everyone knows what their capabilities are. Everyone knows how talented those individuals are. They just haven't gotten out of state much to compete, and it's basically the community saying, we want you to go out of state and go compete for us, go represent California, go show them, what we're made of. And that's definitely what I'd like to see, but I'm also not against just trying to send who our best is, but I really think what we should put out of our mind is like, who can afford to go out of state and who can't. That's sticky, and that's not what this is supposed to be about. This is supposed to be about our state.
No, it should be more like an award, right? It's more like student, right? If you want to be like real layman about it, like that's it's us nominating somebody who we all want to get behind, who is deserving, who puts forth the work and the effort, and we are fundraising to sponsor. That's exactly what we're doing. We're getting together, we're creating our own sponsorship so we can make noise and put it behind the athletes.
Athletic scholarships.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So do you think it's going to take actually putting together a collection to see what we're looking at before deciding on how many we can actually pick? I mean, the nominating from our team heads, getting at least a list of names to choose from, we could do that. Like, we can keep doing that and better, but in terms of picking whoever it's going to be and how many,
I kind of like the idea of making the team heads pick from other teams and not their own.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You know me, man. I'm all about like the whole thing with North versus South. What did we talk about? I was like, dude, when I go to these tournaments, I see the little groups and everybody's like separated. They all talk and they're all friends and everybody's humble, but they still have their little units. I was like, we need to make something to where everybody's cheering for everybody, and it's kind of that same thing. Like the more unification and the more togetherness, the more having them pick from another team. It creates that having to research and learn about somebody new and or maybe somebody that you've seen and you want to learn a little bit more about, and you become a fan and you get behind, you know.
That could be interesting. I see pros and cons to it. So yeah, on the pro side, I definitely like how it would be teams getting involved with, the talent on other teams and wanting to research that. The cons being, of course, the team heads are going to know best who their best, teammates are, who their best talent is, versus I might not know, like on, somebody up north, one of their teams, a Central Cali team or something. Uh, I, I don't know who their best talent is. I wouldn't know who to nominate. I get it, though, it would force
Well,
me
that's
out,
that's
but
specific to the situation. Like if we were, like you said, if we were talking about getting our dream team together, then yeah, you would want the captain of each team to pick their dream guy, their best guy, right? But if we're not going that direction and we're just nominating somebody, it could be somebody that you've seen at 5 tournaments and you don't even know their name, and you're like, hey, well, wait, there's a guy that I've seen. What's his name? He's always out there and he's always has a good attitude. It could be something that small, right?
right, right.
Just somebody that we want to help and show that we appreciate, because that motivation, RTM, right? Recruit, train, motivate. Like that is the thing. If you can motivate people at whatever they're doing, they will continue to do good and give good results.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, Terry's doing it right now. She says Grace Bear for women's sponsorship. She's already throwing out somebody else. Oh, Don, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, I was gonna say we can nominate Vretch and just have him do all the weight classes.
Yep.
There we go. See?
He can be
There we go.
the Vretch team, I mean.
Yeah,
I think
Team
that's
Fresh. I mean, he plays all positions. We don't. He's a quarterback that can throw to himself, right?
Yeah,
I think
thank
that's a
God
good idea.
they only let him claim one weight class, or he'd have a whole bunch, right?
That is such a shame, like in and of itself. How when it comes to, I don't know, does Santino, you go to nationals a lot. Does Reg go?
No. At least not to EFA Nationals. I only have done EFA Nationals. I haven't done the WAF Nationals. But I don't think, when I watch in the tournaments, I don't think I've seen Reg at WAF Nationals, at least last year or the year before.
I haven't either. What about Arnold's?
I don't think I've seen him there recently either.
I would like to see him go around and kick some butt.
Yeah. I mean, if we really did get, if we really were putting together a dream team, I really like our chances,
Oh, definitely.
Nation, but
you got some good guys around here.
We don't see it, like on that invitational thing where Dustin Hyatt is in it and Hunter Knopfs and all these freaky dudes. Like it's me and Ricky going. I'm not saying we're slouches, but like, dude, if Reg went, it's game over, or at least if I was to think of somebody realistically that could take down Dustin Hyatt, it's weird. It's kind of weird. So knowing that kind of throws a thorn in it right away. Like, like even if we were to sponsor, Reg is going to go. Like, so I think we really are kind of looking at a different criteria. We're looking at who, is the hot, maybe new talent and deserves to get out there. And, even if it's about leveling up, because that's what competing out of state does.
So I agree with what Josh was saying, is getting the collection at the North versus South. I think if we can have just nominees, just names, enough names by that time, just simplify it, draw from the hat, like whatever, depending on how much funds we can raise. But like, these are our nominees. We're just drawing random just to get this process started. So when we do this again, everyone knows what it's about, knows what's going in, get more involvement, but just get through it. Because I'll definitely work on that, because I'm going to various practices in the next coming weeks, getting more names for the North for you, Kane.
Perfect. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I'm gonna record this just in case we decide to clip anything too. But so also last on the agenda to talk about for North versus South is the documentary. So last episode, we were talking about how it would be really cool to make a community documentary of California arm wrestling. And we really, Josh and I really talked a lot about it, and decided to hone right in on North versus South 2 for this. It creates a really good catalyst, something defined that we can stick to and tell a story about. And there's plenty of time to do that. So the general plan for this documentary, we threw around the idea of getting team heads or something like that to get a hold of GoPro cameras and stuff, so we could be working off of all decent quality. But Josh and I are more partial to doing something a little bit grittier for a good portion of the documentary, which is going to be the storytelling, the backstory of a lot of people going through their training and preparation for North versus South. I am totally down with everyone filming that themselves with their phones, and whatever they have. And I've got ideas of how we can collect the footage and everything. But North versus South, and also other footage that I'd be getting going around, and the California travels between now and then will be a little bit higher quality. Definitely North for the actual event. So the format of the documentary, the way we're envisioning it, is telling that story of all the competitors that are involved in this event, what it is. And so basically this is a call to arms. If anybody already has confirmed matches, I know they haven't been released yet. A lot of those are still being hashed out, but anybody that already does have matches, or if you were right off in the list that I was talking about for the 145, which might be like a 150, but the featherweight round robin we're looking to kick off if you're one of them too. This you can start right away in terms of filming. So this is a community collective. No, we don't have like a bunch of backing and money to be doing some high production thing and filming it ourselves and sending out camera crews, but I think it's going to be cooler this way. So all of the editors are essentially going to become your own cameraman for some of just like the lead up stuff. So for an example, like if I had a match at North versus South, but I don't, but let's just pretend I called out like Vadim or something like that. I could pull up my camera and be like, hi, my name is Kane Fontecchio. I'm from like Arrowhead. And I was just set up with the match with Vadim Bedrosian, I think his name, for North versus South 2. Like, I'm really excited about it. This is day one of my training camp. Today, what we're going to be working on is, pronation and rise. Dude's got a long leap, like blah, blah, like that kind of stuff, and really just video documenting your road to North versus South. If there's any hiccups in the road, any struggles that you're having, it could be, your diet, you're trying to put on weight, you're trying to lose weight, the back and forth banter maybe between you and your competitor. All of that stuff would be really gold, and that can pretty much be sent over to me, and I'll be using a professional movie editing program to chop everything up. The way you can help me to expedite that process, that is a lengthy process to have to chop up an hour and a half. It might just be like an hour to 2 hours. We'll see where we land. But to do the post editing on a lot, hours and hours of footage that you all are sending, it could be daunting. So you'd basically kind of be your own pre-editors, just try and pick what you want. And if you know how to like edit to clip off an end or beginning or something like that of your clip before you send it, or when we see each other airdropping me or whatever, there's different programs for video sharing we could incorporate as well. But the more of that we can collect, and then the event itself, I could start tying everything together and telling a story between several different competitors. And obviously, I'd try and touch on everybody involved, but I'll definitely, for the sake of story structure, after the outcome of North versus South, be looking for those moments, those things that tie together between the outcome of that match, what happened in the match that really ties together to specific, footage that was sent regarding your journey upwards, so that we can tell kind of like an interesting story, if that makes sense. So 100% independent, community made documentary, North versus South 2. And anybody that is involved in the live streaming or anything like that, that's helping to film at the event itself, I'd be okay with them releasing any of their own type of footage after the event, before the documentary releases, because what I'd be packaging would be completely different. And a couple months down the road, copyrights wouldn't be a big deal, because I wouldn't be looking to make money on it. The main objective would be to just create this like arm wrestling cult classic, our own gem that we did, that could be just put out on YouTube, and something that can float through the arm wrestling community. So that's that.
Also, to piggyback off that, I was reading just what Robert Terry is saying, but in that light of the documentary, that like almost underground aspect of it, almost a throwback what we do in California to what was it, the Game of Arms did for like teams across the country, but like teams within California themselves, like a team competition between certain teams, having that, like you're saying, that documentary build up to, we're going to this team's location, they're coming to this location, things like that.
Absolutely. That's it. Yeah. And yeah, that was the one part I left out that I would especially love footage of, is just practice footage of your team, what's going down in practice. That's why I just for our last Sunday practice went ahead and live streamed it, so that I could have that recording to include as well. So you guys just keep filming. If you're involved as an athlete in North versus South, just start, video journaling, start, telling us about yourself, banking footage, send it over to me, and we'll make something really cool happen. Message me or Josh if you have any questions. Josh has a really, really great eye for these things as well. So I'm really excited to be working on this. I think it's going to be really, really cool. Something for us all to have, But yeah, that's it. Anything else that you guys want to touch on tonight?
I don't think anymore. I just wanted to, for me, obviously it was a lot that we touched on, but that was just a basic premise of things I wanted to put forth out there, that input I felt needed to be heard. Also input that my team has shared with me, what they feel about a lot of the stuff as well. Because that was some of the things I wanted to make sure it got put out there before things get too far advanced. And when we look back, it's like, oh, maybe we should have done this or that. That's one of the main things I wanted to get, at least here on tonight, just some of these things out there. So from an outside perspective, what might be helpful to the committee and league coming forward, of what the purpose of these things are for.
Awesome. Yeah, cool, man. And yeah, I highly appreciate it. Well, all right. I mean, unless there's nothing else you guys want to add, I think we will call it a night. I'm really looking forward to Sunday. Armfest, baby.
I just want, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I can't.
Oh,
you guys are all
hear
frozen.
us. Okay. All right.
I don't know what happened. Well, anyways, no, I just wanted to add that these shows are starting to get more tight, and like everything is getting more locked in and zoned in, and each one is getting better and better. So I just appreciate everybody in the community supporting and getting involved and helping Kane and I along this journey to, be involved with this and help where we can. So yeah, it's getting better each time.
Absolutely. Heck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, Tara Terry says, good luck to everyone competing this weekend. Thank you so much. Nicholas Rush Butler says 154 pounds to California, 100%. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, Robert Terry, Gabriel, Paul, Todd, Will, everybody in the chat, Benji, Ace Juan, Art, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. But yeah, you guys, thanks for coming on as well. It's always good, always a pleasure, and I love that we're always trying to, make things happen here for California arm wrestling. So that said, you guys have a great night.
Salute.
Week.
I'll see you Sunday, Don.
Yeah.
Okay, see you. See you Sunday.
All right.